Only a few months had passed since my marriage. My husband worked in a private company and had night duty. At my in law's house, I, my mother in law, father in law, my husband, a younger brother in law, and a sister in law lived there. My brother in law used to bring a new film every day, which my sister in law and he would watch while sitting alone. One day, when I insisted on watching it, my brother in law said that this is not a film for you to watch. I was surprised because he used to look at the door latch. I used to get bored at night anyway, because my husband used to come in the morning and till then I was alone in the room. Both my brother in law and sister in law used to talk to me very little. Whenever brother in law came home at night, he would definitely bring some CD of a film, and then my sister in law and brother in law, both of them, used to close the room and sit. My in laws had only one TV, which was in my brother in law's room. I found his behavior very strange, which were those films which were watched secretly in a closed room. I used to keep thinking that I should talk to my husband about this, and then I used to keep quiet after thinking this. Otherwise, he would have thought that I was jealous of his siblings. He had just returned from duty. She quickly got up and prepared food for everyone, and her husband and she went to her room. But then my husband had also changed his clothes and sat on the bed. Coming into the bed, I said, "Come and have food." Smiling, he said, "Okay, I'm coming." My husband asked, "What happened? Is there any injury on the hand?" I was surprised and said, "Nothing. My hand got burnt while cooking and I forgot to tell." He said, "Do the work carefully." I said, "As per your order, husband." My husband told the younger one to help in the work. I became silent, thinking this, and didn't answer. So my husband asked, "What happened?" I said, "Your sister stay in her room the whole day and your brother comes as soon as it is night. Then both of them sit in the room closed. She doesn't even talk to me. So how can I say that I'm useful?" Something came to my heart and I told it to my husband. My husband thought and replied, "Come, I will the riot itself." I told my husband, "Okay, okay, you eat food. Take rest," because I knew he would be tired. My husband said, "You also eat food. It is getting cold." Then we both sat together and ate food. After that, I switched off the light of the room and came to wash the utensils, and I started doing my work. I was just tired after sweeping the hall. I sat on the cot in the hall for 2 minutes to take a breath. That my sister in law came and said, "Sister in law, please give me food." But her way of talking was as if the other person was her servant and she was the mistress. I found her behavior very strange from the beginning, and then my mother in law started telling me that I was arguing with her daughter. But I remained silent so as not to spoil the atmosphere at home. Then I served her food and went to my room. I was rarely went in front of her because I found her behavior very strange. I came to the room and sat down. There was a lot of pain in my hand. Tears came in my eyes. My husband's eyes opened and my husband asked, "What happened?" I wiped my tears and told my husband that she was working in the kitchen, and due to water getting on the burn, she started having pain. My husband said, "Hey, you let it go. Show your hand." My husband saw me taking my hand in his, and then he insisted and took me to the hospital. The doctor had bandaged my hand and also given some medicines. When I came home from the hospital, everything was the same. The same utensils used by my sister in law and my brother in law were kept on the table in the hall. I felt very angry but remained silent. Sitting on the chair, my husband asked, "Have these utensils been kept here till now?" I said that I had given food to my sister and brother before going to the hospital. He left the utensils like this and went away. I will just pick them up and went to put the utensils in the basin. My husband said, "Leave it. The doctors have forbidden you from working, otherwise, the injury will not heal." And he signaled me to sit on the chair, so I sat near him. My husband called his sister. My husband used to call his sister as Vidra. Perhaps it was the habit from the beginning, otherwise, his sister did not look like Vidra at all. Had she got married on time, she would have been the mother of two small children by now. Then my sister in law came out of the room angrily and started asking my husband, "What is the matter?" My husband looked at her sister angrily and said, "There is no need to be so surprised. You have eaten it and you can wash it and keep it. You have grown so much." Both of them, brother and sister, were engrossed in their own world. Neither had the manners to talk, whereas my husband was a very good talker in comparison to my sister in law and my brother in law. I sometimes feel that my husband's mother must have told him from somewhere. That is probably why he used to behave like this with me. In the evening, when my husband left for his duty, I came and sat in the hall because my husband had strictly forbidden me from doing any work at home. Today, obeying her brother, she was cooking in the kitchen, and after some time, there was a knock at the door. "Who is it?" I asked while going near the door. "Sister in law, I am your brother in law." So I opened the door. Then, when my brother in law entered the house, he went straight to my sister in law's room. But when he didn't find my sister in law in the room, he started shouting. Then my sister in law called from the kitchen and he went into the kitchen. Both of them were talking quietly among themselves. I was sitting on the sofa in the hall. I could not hear their voices properly. Then suddenly my sister in law's phone started ringing. So he gave some CD to my sister in law and left the house with the phone close to his ear. While cooking, my sister in law kept that CD in the same kitchen. I was taking water from the tank kept outside the kitchen, but my eyes were on these two. I came to the kitchen. My sister in law was cutting vegetables. I started talking to her. She would make faces, answer some things, and ignore others. I hid the CD to protect it from her eyes. I was about to come out of the kitchen when that CD came out of my dupatta and fell on the ground. My sister in law immediately saw me. I acted ignorant, asked where did this CD come from, and picked up that CD so that my sister in law doesn't suspect that I am keeping an eye on it and my brother in law. The next day, I woke up in the morning and got busy with the work as usual. Then, after completing the work, when I came into the room, my husband said that till my hand gets better, I should go to my parents' house so that I can get rest and my hand gets better quickly. I got ready quickly and kept some clothes in the bag, and I went to my parents' house with my husband. When I walked up in the next morning, I got a call from my husband, talked to him for a while. He was tired and fell asleep. Mom called me for breakfast. I came to the hall for breakfast. Mom was serving breakfast on the table, then we all had breakfast together. I slowly started collecting the utensils. My sister told me, "Hey sister, stay seated. I will do this work." I said, "I do it there too. I will do it here too." My sister said smilingly.